anticipatory desire. "Now, pop that cork, pour me something beautiful, and bring that body of yours into this bed right away. Mitzi needs some loving after that long drive today. I assume we have all night?" "We are going nowhere until dawn," Foster replied as he poured the champagne, a flow of frothy bubbles rising to the rim and cascading down the body and stem of the glass and onto the tiles below his feet. "I did not drive the entire length of this canyon in this monstrosity to just turn around and head back out again. There aren't many cars that can make it this far, so we might as well make the most of our surroundings and the fact that we're the only ones around for miles. Not that I'm going out in this heat. The dashboard thermometer says it's about 113 degrees Fahrenheit. That's way too hot, even for a beach-loving boy like me." It was true. The road they had taken to reach the secluded spot at the far end of the canyon was impassable by most vehicles. It was only top-of-the-range RVs like the one Foster and his girlfriend of 3 years, Mitzi, had hired for their month-long USA vacation that were able to cope. The camper was outwardly perfectly equipped to deal with even the rockiest of terrains, and its lavish interior was equally custom-built for sheer luxury while travelling with its satellite system, surround sound, DVD player, huge TV, and wireless internet. On the few occasions they had used the internet during the previous 3 weeks of their journey, it had only been to check emails from their lives back home in the UK. As a professional dancer on one of her home country's top TV shows, Mitzi needed to find out what the next season of the hot show held for her when she returned in just over a week's time. The rumour mill was circling with the notion that Mitzi's celebrity partner for the next 6 months would be a fellow reality TV star from Surf and Turf, the same show which had seen Foster rise to fame 4 years ago. The show, about a group of Cornish surfers who also ran their own landscape gardening business, had been a huge hit, and Foster had been the breakout star, securing a spot as Mitzi's dancing partner after only 1 season on Surf. Viewers loved his relationship with Mitzi, which quickly spilled from the ballroom into the bedroom. Their Barbie and Ken blonde perfection meant that when the two of them lifted the glitter ball trophy aloft at the end of the series, the offers came flooding in for them both. Sponsorship deals, lucrative cruise tours to showcase their dancing prowess, and a massive pay increase for Mitzi to stay on the show saw both their kudos and their bank balances snowball. Foster's latest project, a documentary in which he would put his gardening skills to the test to turn a downtrodden Cornish council estate into a thriving oasis of green shrubbery and happiness, was due to commence on his return to Britain. But for now, all that was on the cards for the next few hours was a nerve-tingling, gymnastic symphony of lovemaking, something their sporty, supple dancers' bodies allowed them to indulge in as often as possible, and in positions most sexual partners could only dream of. "I'll show you what's hot," moaned Mitzi deliriously as she moved her finger faster, her body arching with pleasure as crests of desire snapped through her inner core, spreading from the heat between her legs. "Shift that six-pack of yours over here now and ride me like a Texas rodeo athlete." Foster didn't need asking twice. Moving to the bed, he poured the rest of his own glass of champagne into his mouth and handed the other to Mitzi. As she placed the glass to her lips, Foster pushed his face deep into the open layers of joy between her legs. The feel of her wetness thrilled him, encouraging him deeper. It was only once his mouth was completely enveloped by the flower of her pussy that he allowed his lips to open and the icy champagne to flow from his mouth into the sexual cavity of her vagina, swirling around his tongue and Mitzi's finger as it did so. She let out a squeal of joy and dropped her now virtually empty glass onto the sheets alongside her. The remaining droplets of champagne dribbled onto the material underneath her body. Foster looped his tongue around Mitzi's finger and felt an increase in the ferocity of her excitement as she moved it faster and more pressingly inside her. The fusion of the sweet champagne and her own natural womanly flavour washed across Foster's tongue as her finger rubbed against his taste buds.